The second-generation 2024 Toyota CHR maintains the quirky design that made the first model so popular while impressing with a sophisticated cabin, cutting-edge technology, and amazing efficiency. Even with its upgraded engine, the GR Sport variant's driving engagement is lacking. However, the CHR's overall appeal stems from the way it strikes a mix between comfort and performance, which makes it a formidable competitor in the hybrid market. For those looking for a transition vehicle, the CHR continues to be a superior hybrid alternative as Toyota comes closer to complete electrification. The second-generation Toyota CHR boasts a well-finished interior, strong interior technology, excellent real-world efficiency, and just enough of the quirky stylistic cues that made the Mach 1 so popular. Despite having the more powerful powertrain, the GR Sport variant is likely the weakest of the kind. You're spending a lot of money on some more power and styling elements that might improve the car's comfort while driving but don't increase the level of participation. In general, we would heartily suggest the CHR, but the range's sweet point can be found somewhere else. In the medium run, Toyota might be stepping up its full electrification efforts. However, the business is still producing full hybrid cars with great success as more consumers search for a transition vehicle before buying a plug-in vehicle. We now get to experience the more potent 2.0-liter version of the car for the first time on UK roads after the Japanese automaker recently updated the CHR, one of its best-selling hybrids. Recall that the CHR is available with two different engine options, 1.8 and 2.0 liters, each paired with Toyota's fifth-generation hybrid technology. The lower-power vehicle emits 111 grams of CO2 and has a system output of 138 horsepower. But the 2.0 manages to produce 194 horsepower more forcefully, while maintaining the same CO2 emissions. Even on the official WLTP test cycle, it will deliver more than 57 mpg. Even while the last of those numbers may not sound all that impressive in this day and age, it's important to keep in mind that it's an average. Toyota even believes that the car will perform better in urban settings than a typical gasoline-powered vehicle would. Naturally, you never need to plug in this car. However, if you think you may really profit from PHEV technology, Toyota will start selling a CHR with this feature later in 2024. Order books are indeed open right now. It's generally preferable to consider the dynamic behavior of the CHR in three separate parts. It performs best in urban areas, where traffic can be easily navigated thanks to its rather small size and pleasantly direct, responsive handling. As we've come to expect from cars on the TNGA platform, the ride quality is well judged. It's occasionally hard but mostly well tied down, with adequate compliance over potholes and bumps in the city. Here is another area where the hybrid system shines. There is more than enough electric propulsion to allow the vehicle to drive away deftly and silently, and cruising at 20 or 30 miles per hour is perfectly within its speed range. The difference between the CHR and the last is that this good behavior continues, for the most part, when you leave town and move on to faster country roads. The old model used to feel exposed here, with soaring revs dealt with by the complex transmission at the heart of the hybrid system. But now it seems more comfortable with life. We never go as far as to suggest there's fun or real involvement to be had. Ultimately, there's just too much going on between you and the engine itself for that. But it is possible to lean on the body control afforded by the TNGA underpinnings. Use intelligent right-hand pedal inputs to make the transmission behave more like a conventional auto. As previously mentioned, motorways are probably the CHR's weakest environment. However, it's far from unbearable, and at least one of the chinks in the armor is partly down to the GR Sport spec. On multiple occasions, we arrived at our destination and realized that the car had spent well over half of the journey running on electricity alone. Nor, it must be said, does this bring much of a trade-off in efficiency. The EV percentage figure floats around a bit as you travel, but you can happily just go with the flow of traffic, without thinking about driving particularly economically. When you accelerate to catch up with traffic, the hybrid system does produce its typical burst of power. However, it soon levels off and becomes inaudible, due to a noticeable amount of wind noise coming from the area surrounding the side mirrors and 8 pillars. The GR's 20-inch rims are the greatest culprits since they transfer a good deal of low-frequency noise up from the road surface below. We believe a CHR on 17s might behave better in this area. What is the price of the Toyota CHR? The second-generation Toyota CHR series from 2024 is not cheap, despite being a tiny SUV. The new CHR costs more than $43,000 to purchase, up over $10,000 from the model it replaces. This is because only hybrid power plants are now offered, replacing the standard gasoline engine. The new CHR hybrid range for 2024 starts at $42,990 for the entry-level GXL, rises to $49,990 for the mid-spec Koba, and tops out at $54,990 for the flagship GR Sport, all plus ORCs. The previous CHR hybrid, which was available in Koba and GR Sport model grades, started at $38,465 plus on-road charges. This creates a significant gap between the CHR and important competitors, such as the Volkswagen T-Roc, from $39,790, Hyundai Kona, from $32,000, and Mazda CX-30, from $33,140. However, Toyota does cover additional ground in the small SUV sector with the Corolla Cross range of gasoline and hybrid vehicles, from $33,890 to $50,030 plus ORCs. About 70% of purchasers are expected to select the mid-spec Koba model, 20% will go for the GR Sport, and only 10% will choose the base GXL, according to Toyota. Crucially, a long list of standard features on every grade helps to justify those costs a little. Toyota hasn't strayed too far from the stylized formula that made the first CHR such a hit inside. Lesser CHRs only have an 8-inch display for their infotainment system. The fully digital instrument panel and massive 12.3-inch infotainment system have wireless smartphone connection. Still, you feel as if you are sitting in a different zip code than the base of the windscreen due to the overall profile, and there isn't much legroom in the back seats. Furthermore, the rear feels noticeably devoid of natural light due to the hefty C-pillars and narrow side windows. As with the Mach 1 CHR, it is terribly gloomy inside. Toyota hasn't actually done much to address one of the main issues with the vehicle, but doing so would have required altering the car's basic positioning. Even with the inclusion of 5 seats, this SUV nevertheless has more room than many small SUVs from brands like Fiat, Jeep, Peugeot, and Vauxhall. Without a doubt, the knowledgeable salesperson from Toyota will steer you toward the larger OAV4. With a 364-liter boot, the CHR is a respectably sized vehicle. Nevertheless, just with the more traditional Corolla hatchback, the larger engine up front comes at a cost in terms of total capacity. Though it's not precisely a deal-breaker, the GR Sport CHR loses 20 liters of capacity when compared to the standard 1.8 due to the 12-volt battery's relocation.